All right, good morning again, everyone, and welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel. We're back in the shop after the Out for Blood shootout. It is Monday, and we're working on some race cars. So the big project that we're trying to get ready that hasn't seen the track yet is Rick's 4th Gen Camaro. Yeah, I know I called him Richard a few in the earlier videos, but I think he'd prefer to be called Rick. Sorry about that, Rick. Anyways, back to the car. So we've got some more work done since you guys saw it last. Some more wiring stuff that doesn't really stick out, but the wastegates are on. The downpipes are on the bench for me to weld. The turbo is in it, but we obviously have to connect turbo to the intercooler, which the guys are going to be working on that tomorrow. But for now, I have a bunch of welding stuff to do. So another thing we've got to do, we got to get a pipe from here out the fender. And I'm going to show you guys just how I'm going to do that, as well as weld up his fuel cell. So let's get to work. All right, we're about to take our old HTP TIG welder and weld together a whole bunch of stuff. So this is one piece of our fuel cell, and like I showed you in an earlier video, it's going to fit kind of just inside of the left front tire. And you can see I already made and welded on my mounts for the fuel pumps. So we've got two 490 liter per hour pumps, and they are going to snap into these brackets. And then we're going to put a clamp around the two fuel pumps and then use the holly to trigger the two separate fuel pumps. One will be on all the time, obviously, because that's what the engine needs to run. And the second fuel pump will come on with boost, TPS, I haven't decided yet, one of the two. So then, from there, we need to connect to our outlet. So what we're going to do is take a tube. All right, so to connect the fuel pumps up to the top of the tank, we're going to do something with a piece of pipe here. I'm going to take and cut it at a little bit of an angle so that these two 6AN bungs kind of make a Y on the end of the tube. And then we'll figure out the height of the tube. Once that's done, and then we will cut this off, weld the 10AN bung to the top of it, and then all we've got to do is connect this to the fuel filter. On the return, we're going to the other side. We also have a fuel level sender that's already fit for here. Easy peasy there. As well as we've got a return fitting that I think goes there. No, is it there? One of the two. For the vent. This is, I believe, the wiring connector right here. So wiring connector here, vent over here. And then all this box becomes a self-contained fuel system. And like I said earlier in another video, I just love the simplicity of something like that. It'd be nice and compact. You literally just unbolt this with probably 3 bolts, take it out of the car. If you need to get in and service the fuel pumps, you can come in through the filler neck hole right here for we're going to use a Holley billet screw-on cap, and that's that. So I'm going to start on a time lapse, let you guys follow along while I'm chop cutting welding, and then we'll be ready to assemble this thing and put it in the car. right, well that gets our fuel cell mostly made. Guys tomorrow will make me up some mounts to mount it over in this corner right here. We'll have a mount off of here because basically the tank fits from here over to the frame. So we'll probably have a couple of tabs down here and fabricate some threaded inserts to weld to the side of the tank, and then the tank will just bolt in. Probably do something back here on these as well, so it'll have a couple bolts here and there. So the roll bar ends up being around it here, which is a nice little bit of added protection. And this thing's starting to get a little closer. We have to fabricate one more box here. That'll be our breather tank. Catch a line off of each valve cover that we already drilled and tapped the fittings for these Holley valve covers to run over to that. So no big deal there. We're actually going to be mounting the battery right in here. It's a little small 12-volt battery, and then an alternator will be snuck down in that hole right there. But moving along, making some progress. My next project on this thing is going to be to turn all of these into an exhaust pipe. I'm not a big fan of pie cuts, I'll admit, but sometimes they're necessary to make a really compact, short compound bend. And the idea is that the exhaust is going to start there, and then it's going to come out right there. So we need to go down and out in the span of about 1.5 feet. That'll be a nice little challenge for us, and a whole lot more welding. If you're curious, that was roughly 2 hours of welding on the tank itself and 5 minutes of burning myself. It happens, even to the best of us. Which, in no way do I think I'm the best. I mean, my welds are okay. Some of it's not too bad, but my transitions aren't the best from weld to weld. But not too bad. At least I'm pretty happy with them. And great job to CJ for fitting all that. His first box, he did all the measuring out and shearing and bending. Did a good job there, CJ. I'm going home for the night, but that doesn't end this video. We'll be back to make the exhaust in just a second. All right, so I'm back in the shop after our little adventure with Mullet yesterday. The guys got the fuel cell completely built up, which is really fuel cell, fuel pump module, all that good stuff. They're getting ready to mount it right here. Travis got my downpipes made, and I welded those up this morning, as well as the wastegates are all plumbed. Got the throttle body flipped because we're using this throttle cable bracket, which means our throttle cable will be nice and easy to run right over to the hole in the firewall there and use the factory pedal. So we got all of that taken care of. Got the beginnings of an alternator mount down in there. And we're gonna end up using like a stretch belt that's for like an air conditioner, only like a 4-rib. Goes over there making brackets for the air pump that's going to run the boost controller system. Also got our battery snuck in over here, so nice little short wires. This is a little 2-pound 12-volt battery that I've had really good luck with. It's been a very good little battery for cars that have an alternator on them and you want to get rid of some weight. Actually, Grant with the Miatas turned me onto those. He's been using those in his Miatas, actually an even smaller version of this in the Miatas for a while now. But she's getting really close. Some wiring down to tie the battery to the car. We got our spark plug wires on, spark plugs are in and gapped. Hot side's on, hopefully for the last time. But right now I'm about to start fabricating a downpipe using all those pie cuts that I showed you earlier. So let's build a downpipe. All right, well, you guys might have seen in the time lapse, got our downpipe. I thought that was me. Anyways, we got our downpipe fit. Lots and lots of pie cuts. You guys know I'm not a big fan of pie cuts, but when you need to make a tight turn in a super tight area, sometimes you got to do it. Works out pretty good right through there. Yes, that's an aluminum 5-inch exhaust pipe. Got me a spot for the O2 sensor, so that's all that's left there. We've got a fender brace that's going to bolt in here and then tie to the lower frame rail. And then Travis has been working on fitting this big cast elbow. Is going to get welded to the turbo compressor housing. And then we'll have a V-band or quick disconnect down here. And then our tank will connect to that. And we're going to kind of make the tank a little bit of a wedge shape so it kind of shovels the air going through the grill towards the turbo. Can you see the turbo through the grill? Yeah, there it is. So anyways, that's going to wrap up this video. It's going to be down to the wire on this thing, not going to lie. I think if we can get the intercooler done and radiator, like battery cables are probably, got probably 2.5 hours or 2 to 3 hours of electrical stuff. And then I'll probably have 4 to 5 hours in intercooler welding and tank building. So today's Wednesday. Hopefully we'll have this at the track Saturday. But we really need to roll it across the dyno before then. But stay tuned for next time and see if we can get this thing done. See you then.